Hi Trinetra.
Hello.
Dr. Trinetra, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Firstly, you look lovely.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate you for winning this award, Youth Icon. What does Youth Icon mean to you? I mean, and how do you feel after winning this award, after all the recognition that you've been receiving, especially in the last year?
I somehow find the idea of calling myself an icon a little cringe, but since you're doing it, it's fine. I never started doing any of what I do because I wanted to be an icon. I was just trying to be myself. I was trying to put my story out there and pursue a career in medicine. And acting happened to be this thing that came my way, and I really enjoyed it. And not that it was easy, but I think being a youth icon means someone who knows her responsibility in society and is willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that people from your community, people that you represent, people that perhaps didn't have as much luck that I did, an opportunity that I did, those people also have visibility, you know. I think for me that's what's most important, no matter what, whether it's medicine, whether I go back, don't go back, continue here. It's about that, it's for the kids and it's for a future where we can exist freely.
We see the brighter side of this. You have had your journey. As a cishet woman, I have faced so much struggles in my life. I can't even begin to imagine what you must have been through. I mean, I really want to ask you this. From where do you derive the strength? You must require this this reserves of inner courage. How do you get them?
I cry a lot. I think it's really important to be in touch with your emotions. You know, I grew up being told by my father, by society to man up because I was the firstborn son, etc., etc. And for the longest time, that's what you're conditioned to believe, no? That you're not allowed to show emotion and you have to toughen up. That's been one of the most beautiful things about growing into my womanhood.
Yeah.
Being in touch with my emotions and not being shamed for it, and really sort of undoing all of that, you know, conditioning and all of that nonsense. I think you have to, the only way through a really hard time, the only way around a really hard time is through it. You know, you just have to be able to power through it while feeling everything in that moment. So yeah, it's not been easy. I'm sure you would say the same, that any woman, whether cis or trans, knows what it's like to live in this society, particularly in medicine or entertainment, both industries being heavily male dominated. Yeah, cry. Cry as much as you can, feel everything.
You mentioned conditioning. I've watched several of your interviews and you have actually mentioned conditioning a lot. I think we have been conditioned to live in a particular way. The men, the women, everybody is a victim. But
Yeah.
I think the only way the conditioning can be diffused or broken is through knowledge and awareness that you have been spreading. You started posting about your journey when you were 20, I think. You are still
Yeah.
a medical student.
Yeah.
So at that time,
Earlier than that, actually. But 20, I think, is when, you know, I started also discovering my gender identity. So it became more regular.
so at that particular moment, did you think or did you anticipate that this would turn into such a big movement, or
No.
did the journey take its own course?
The movement has always been there, you know. Like, I think for any one of us, it's important to realize how small we are in the movement. There have been people like Justice Indu, for example, and the whole fight behind Section 377. I'm only 26 years old, and queer people have existed in history forever and have fought forever. I think, wait, what was your question again?
At that moment, when you were 20, did you know that this journey would turn into something big,
No.
so big?
Right. So speaking of that, I always, you know, thought that I was nobody, because that's what you grow up believing, etc. I knew that the movement existed. Whether I would be able to contribute to it, particularly in fields like entertainment, I didn't know that. Nobody really knows these things, you know. Like I said earlier, that you only see yourself represented on the streets or as a joke, right? And when your future looks like joke on television or sex worker, that's not very encouraging to anybody. So no, I didn't know. But it's good to know that today things are better and the future looks less bleak. And I'm very happy that organizations and platforms like this recognize that. So Yeah.
And since while we are at that topic, we have to mention Made in Heaven season 2 because that is the one thing that made you break into the scene. Like
Yeah.
before that, I knew that there existed a Dr. Trinetra who has done so much, but I think so many people took notice of you after that. And you also mentioned while receiving the award that earlier people thought that trans women didn't belong to didn't belong to rooms like this.
Yeah.
When I saw the poster of the show,
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, I don't know how many people realize the gravity that a trans woman was playing a trans woman,
Yeah.
and she was one of the main leads, and she was featured on the poster.
Yeah.
How has the journey been? And
Oh, wow.
and how thankful are you to Zoya Akhtar and the creators of the show?
Immensely, immensely, because I think when I started out with that project, the poster, billboard, these things didn't matter to me at all, right? I barely even looked across those things in the literature and the material, but just the idea that, you know, a trans woman could exist alongside these incredibly talented actors and not be a sob story and not be something that is pitied or something that is something to ridicule. The
Maya was
fact
the best character in season 2. The best.
just the idea that someone could be normal, quote unquote, and I don't mean the way that she looked, but the fact that she had human emotions like everybody else, that she had heartbreak, she had pain, but she also had incredible joy and success in her career, and those are things that are very, very human and everyone aspires to, and that's what I mean by normal, you know. The journey of it was rough because it was very long. It was 3 years long. COVID happened in between, and it was rough because I was jumping back and forth, the hospital and the set, right? Because I was also doing my internship at the same time. But once it was done, once I moved here and the billboards went up, that was something. Because many parents of queer kids were in my DMs saying thank you, because now we get to show an image of normalcy to the family and to our kids, so they know that things can be better. So that's big. Like I said, it's about the kids, always.
Yeah, with that, I want to thank you again for being with us, doing this with us, and congratulations again for winning the Youth Icon.
Such a pretty trophy also.
Yes, and you deserve it, truly. When you were on the stage, I had tears in my eyes. I literally had.
my
And
God.
I just want to tell you, you're lovely. You're doing awesome work. And just thank you from everybody, not just from your community, but from mankind, I think.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.